I wanted to do one video that kind of covers the entirety of this outbuilding or shed. First off, the roofing is in pretty poor shape. There's several different types of shingles, at least 2 or 3 different kinds of shingles. You've got a space there that should have flashing along the edge, and it does not, so you could really have some water intrusion issues there. There's no gutters. I highly recommend gutters to take care of the water before it becomes an issue. You can see here that the building is under grade by a little bit, meaning any water that gets over here is going to sit against the wood and cause rot and other issues. And since this doesn't have a foundation, typically you'd want to route water around it, but you definitely don't want to have soil up against or rock or anything else up against it directly. So you'll likely see rot along that edge if that gets left like that. Here's the AC unit. It's a through wall. There's no flashing or anything around it, so any rain that gets on it there is potentially going to get inside the wall. Again, you can see there's no gutters, so that just means that the water's going to splash down here. You can see a bit of a trough down here from where the water's been splashing. There is some rot and things on the outside. Again, gutters would help quite a bit with that. Here's the underside. Now this main structure is all on 4x4s, which 4x4s aren't really generally considered adequate for the size of the structure. And then these tie downs, which are fine, they're not needed, but they're not tight, so they're not going to do a whole lot. This newer section of the structure on the left hand side is a newer section, has proper supports. It's got 6x6s and they're spaced properly. This older section only has 4x4s and they're spaced far too far apart. So these are the tie downs I was talking about. Those are supposed to be tight if they're going to do anything. Now a lot of sheds don't have those at all, so that's something to consider. Is they may not even be necessary, but if they're there, they might as well be tight. And you can see underneath there's some streaks where water's been running through this area. Ideally, you divert water around the building. Here's the inside. There's a couple things going on with the electrical. So here's that AC unit again. Like I said, it just doesn't have proper flashing or anything. On the inside, there's no drywall, so it's just the insulated walls that are open right now. This is the electrical sub panel coming from the house. The panel doesn't have a separate wire for neutral, which it should. When you have a sub panel, you should have 2 hot wires, a neutral, and a ground. This one only has 2 hot wires and a ground, so the neutral is missing from this system. You have some open electrical wiring here. So that's not ideal. And this building slopes this way until you get to this new section. And the new section, the flooring is relatively flat in it. I think that covers kind of the general issues with the shed here. You can see that it looks like that HVAC unit was put through an old window is what used to be there. So like I said when we were talking earlier, this video or the inspection of this shed is kind of an ancillary or extra thing that I wanted to make sure that you got some information on, but it is not considered a full or complete inspection of a structure.